Big batty girls, boys, and my non-binary babes, welcome back to Antics with Ash. I'm gonna be very straight up and honest. I am hanging out my rasshole today, okay? So this is gonna be hangover big sis chats. Lego. So I did the classic, put a little question box out on my story. You lot are actually getting so good at this. Like, it's giving, it's tea, it's boots. So let's go through them. So, this girlie said, things girls hide when they are in a new relationship. Farting, going to the bathroom, eating habits, lol. I'll be honest, I am a very firm believer in just be a rat from day one. Like, I'm not one of those girlies that tries to be cute and go, I don't know. Okay, so like, I don't try and eat cute. I know that there's girls that really try and like, you know, when they're out to dinner and they're like, oh my God, I'm so skinny, Bella Hadid, like I'm just eating like this tiny bit. No, I'm like, you know that scene out of White Chicks where she's like, I'll have 2 sides of onions, the quarter breast of chicken, the 5 wings, like I am that. And then when she's like, I'm like that at dinner. And I think it's tea, because I'm like, if I'm gonna marry this person, they need to know that I'm a rat. The only thing that I do get caught short with in the early stages of dating is farting, because, right, farting, yeah, is like, it's just one of them things. It's fine. It's fine like a few months in. But at the beginning, yeah, farting's not that cute. Like, I want to be like, what? I don't poo. Are you joking? Like, I literally don't poo. So I actually remember there was a time, this was hell. There was a time where I slept over. I feel like I might have told this on the pod before. I slept over at this guy's house and we were like still very fresh and like still seeing each other in the real early stages. And I remember thinking, I don't know what I've had to eat today, but blood fire. It is like a brass band, okay? So, and we're in bed, you know, and you're like, you're only starting to feel physically sick because you're clenching for your entire life. You can't sleep, by the way. You can't sleep. There's no way to sleep. So I remember the whole night I was battling with my own ass, okay? And we're in bed and I'm trying to be all cute. And I remember you can't control what you do when you're asleep, though. That's the issue. So I fell asleep. All of a sudden, when I tell you, it woke me up. You know when a fart wakes you up? If you haven't had that, you haven't lived. Okay, so this fart woke me up. It was colossal. It was like, I jumped out my skin because I knew I'd done a terrible thing. I looked at him and I thought, fuck, pretend to be asleep. So I went, and literally all I heard was like giggling from him, and I thought, fuck's sake, it was the worst thing. So yeah, farting, it is something that I'm grappling with, I must say. But other than that, I think just really be your true ratty self. It's the best way to be, because at the end of the day, it's all gonna come out sooner or later. What I will say though is, the guy who got that colossal fart, it ended in shambles, so maybe don't take my advice, because that obviously didn't last. Okay, you lot are so intrigued about Chris. And I put the question box out and it was just like 50 of you being like, new boys, let's talk about the boys, get him on the pod. I went, oh my God, I sent him the messages and I was like, you would rather die than be on the pod. And he was like, I don't know, you know. And I was like, what? So maybe, I don't know, maybe we get the boyfriend on the pod. I don't know what he'd chat about on here though. I think because I'm so used to this environment, I don't know if he'd come and sit on this couch and see all the cameras and be like, do you know what I mean? Just like, what do I say? But that is an option. Let me just, I reckon, give it another 4 months. You know, we just need to be like solidified. Okay. Oh, how you and your boyf met? Guys, Hinge. But I have had so many conversations with my mates recently and they've been like, dating apps to the trenches, please, I can't do it anymore, sis. What do we do? I swear, just stick it out. Like, I was this close to deleting Hinge. And then he was the one guy that I was like, do you know what? I'll go on a date and I'll see. But if this fucks up, Absolutely not. I'm literally going cold turkey and I'm deleting all of them. Oh, and look where we are now. So honestly, I truly think you need to stick out the dating apps. Also, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my God, guys, actually, I'm gonna play you something. My ADHD's on a madness. I'm gonna play you something. I put a TikTok out yesterday and it was a compilation of screen records that I'd found in my camera roll from last year from Hinge. It is fucking chaos. It's like all the funniest stuff that I saw from people's profiles. You are gonna die. Obviously, for audio reasons, I can't show you like the funny actual bits, but I'm gonna play you what one guy had on his profile. Genuinely dead ass serious, okay? Are you ready? No, you're gonna die. His name's Chris as well, that's the funniest thing. So the prompt was, teach me something about, right? So obviously, the natural answer to that is like, teach me something about yourself, about your passions, about, I don't know, fucker. Whatever answer you'd give, you'd give something cute. This was his response.
When I was younger, I always wondered
No.
how life would be like when I'm all grown up.
I'm gonna end it there because that's all you need to hear. That goes on for a while, as in like people. Oh no, I've actually got more. I'm gonna play a few of them because these are so tea. Okay, this one. The prompt is my most irrational fear.
Okay, sunflowers. Hear me out. Actually, it's sunflower because I don't mind them in bouquet form, and I don't mind them like a field of sunflowers. In fact, bouquet form might involve you. But it's the singular lone sunflower walking down the street over some dude's fence, staring down at me, looking at me, that. Ooh.
As in, it is the fact that it's unts music in the background. He's doing this monologue about his fear of some singular sunflowers, lone sunflowers, not bouquet, singular sunflower. Fucking weird. What is going on? I've got one more. This is actually my favourite game. We should make this a whole series. I could probably do a whole pod that's just based on this. Okay. Oh, this one. No, where is it? Guys, honestly, I need to find it because it's so good. Oh, this guy's prompt is, it feels affirming when others, and then he's meant to answer. This is...
It feels affirming when others.
That's it. As in he just... It's as if it's reading comprehension. Like he just reread the line. It's fucking chaos out here. So I understand why the girlies are at their wits' end, right, with dating apps, because truly, this is all from my camera roll last year. I was in the trenches, but I promise you, there are good eggs out there. Also, I do think meeting people out and about is hard. I think everyone's, like, goal is obviously, oh my God, like, I met this guy out and then our eyes met across the bar and we fell in love and it was sparks and fireworks. That doesn't happen because when I'm out, I'm 30 tequilas deep doing a interpretive dance break for 3 hours. Like that, how am I gonna meet a man? And two, no man is gonna wanna say hello to me. Like genuinely, because I'm off the rails. So I really do think dating apps are, like they are helpful. They're good to get dates in. And I just think meeting people out is actually quite hard. Also for me, I just don't really care about like flirting when I'm out, especially when I'm with my mates. My mates are so tea. My mates are boots. I can't stop saying that since Amy Spalding, by the way. Boots. My mates are tea. So I'm like, why do I want to hang out with dusty, crusty straight men who I may or may not like when I'm literally with all my mates? Doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense. So I do just think dating apps are an easy way to get dates in, you know? But you've got to kiss a few frogs to find that prince. That's the issue. Okay. Let's go. Next. Oh, okay. Relationship topics. What things are you learning with new boo? I've learned that I'm beautiful and gorgeous. No, so what have I learned? I'm actually learning quite a lot. I'll tell you, the main thing that I'm learning is actually shit that I need to unlearn. So I don't know what it is, right? I think this was a curse that I had. I kept dating boys that when I asked them about their exes, they were hell-bent on telling me that their exes weren't the right people for them, right? They would be like, yeah, no, it just didn't work. We weren't the right people. There's no way. That's not my, lifelong partner. No, nah. And then all of them left me for their exes, to get back with their exes. That happened to me 3 times, 3 blood clot times. So, naturally, I'm traumatized. Emotional damage. I am so traumatized by this. So, how much of this story should I tell? Oh, fuck it. I'll tell it all. So, there's another thing I've realised about dating as you get older as well. A lot of people that you date in your late 20s have been in long-term relationships, right? When you're dating when you're 21, when you're dating when you're 21, 22, people haven't really been in long-term relationships, right? But something I'm realising is I'm dating now, and I'm dating now, I'm with someone now, but if you're dating now, everyone has likely been with a partner for a long period of time, like an ex, 3 years, 5 years, whatever. My boyfriend was with his ex for 5 years. That's a fucking long time to be with someone. So the likelihood is, as you get older, people that you date are likely to be friends with their exes. I know. That's how I feel too. But I get it. I'm really not one of these girls that's a lot of people are nah, can't be friends with your exes. No way, I'm not having that. I actually just don't think that's realistic when you get older and you date as you're older, because he was with her for 5 years. That's a huge chunk of your 20s. And I'm yeah, I don't expect you to hate each other. Unless it ended sourpuss, then yeah, I'll uppercut the bitch. But it didn't. It was an amicable split. It just wasn't working, whatever. Let me not air their shit, haha. But he basically said, yeah, we're really cool with each other. We message from time to time. We keep each other up to date on just check in with each other and make sure that each other are okay. Some girlies would be what the fuck is that about? I was no, do you know what? That's so fair. You were with this person for 5 years. That makes sense. Why I shouldn't expect you to hate them or never want to speak to them again. That doesn't make sense. But this is where I need to unlearn. There is that part of me that is oof. You know, the guy with the lone singular sunflower, that's how I feel about exes, low-key. It's just a little bit, oof, because it just rubs me up the wrong way, because I've had so many bad experiences of people that I've been with or been seeing being hell-bent on the fact that they are over their exes and then they've left me for them. So it is, and what's so shit is I realised, so basically we were sitting down one day and his ex texted him. And I was and I remember thinking, I might just kill myself. Do you know what I mean? What do I do now? And he was I remember being really don't be a psycho bitch, don't be a psycho bitch. In my heart, oh my God, it was like fire and brimstone. I wanted to combust, but I thought, don't be a psycho bitch. I went, what's that? He went, oh no, we're just checking in. Anyway, I'm sitting there going, don't be a psycho bitch, don't be a psycho bitch. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, I want to read this entire message thread, but also that psycho bitch. So I can't. So I was okay, I just need to chill. And he was yeah, we check in from each other time to time. Don't worry, it's nothing to worry about. Obviously, if anything untoward was ever said, or if I ever bumped into her out or anything, I'd let you know, just out of respect. And I was you're saying all the right things, right? it doesn't negate the fact that I still feel fire and brimstone in here. And I was like, how do I get over this? Like, why do I feel this way? Why is it making me feel so on edge? And I'm just realising that it's a trauma that, and I can't project that trauma onto this new relationship because that's not fair. Like, he's doing, until he gives me a reason to believe that I can't trust him, which he hasn't at all, I shouldn't be projecting all of these past experiences onto this new person because all I'll do is ruin it for myself. So, not me, like Oprah. Anyway, so I was literally like, no, Ash, I had to sit down and take a long, hard look in the mirror and be like, right, you need to chill. You need to realise that this person is not those people. They are completely separate. It's a different relationship. So, yeah, there is just so much learning and unlearning to do, I think, when you get into a relationship. And, like, I haven't been in a relationship for so long. Like, I forgot what all of this feels like. I've just been a hot girl on the streets for years. So now I'm like, ooh, like, feelings. It's awful. It's gorgeous, but it's also awful because you realise, oh, my God, somebody has the power now to make me feel a type of way because I'm so invested in them now, you know? So, there's my 2 pence. Do not project in your new relationships because honestly, you're just going to ruin it. You're ruining it. Okay, next. How to move on from a long... Okay, cute. I assume this person is down bad. How to move on from a long-term relationship who you love but chose to leave because they didn't treat you right even when you told them what you need. Oh, blocker, blocker, blocker. Leave it, leave it, leave it. I was in an awful relationship when I was like 18. Okay, so I was with the crook from about 18 to 20. And then I got back with him in lockdown. I mean, we were just bored in it. We just needed something to do. And that's what I did. And I think I thought, because we were young, we just like... right person, wrong time. And then we got back together in lockdown and I remember being like, oh shit, no. It was wrong person, wrong time, wrong everything, like wrong day of the week. He was just not the right person. But I remember it was such an awful toxic relationship. He was such a narcissist, like the biggest narcissist in the world. And so much of what he did, you know, like Stockholm Syndrome, when you literally fall in love with your captor. Like that's what it was. It was that. And that's why I think people that have been in toxic relationships that they know aren't good for them, it's like this, it's like a drug, isn't it? It's like you're literally addicted to it by that point, even though you know full well that it's shit for you. And I felt like this in this relationship so much. He was awful. Like he just lied all the time. He cheated. He was dishonest. He was just like not a nice partner. I remember, oh my God, this has stuck with me for like ever. It's so mad how people can say things like years and years ago and it just stays with you. That's why you should always watch your words. But I remember we were in this phase of our relationship. We were on the brink. We were basically about to break up and everything was an issue. You know, when you get to the point of the relationship where like, it's donezo, man. Like we should have just looked at each other and gone, this is finished, surely. Every day was a different argument about nothing. As in, I could have tied my shoelaces a weird way and he would have been like, you're clapped. And then it would have been an argument. Like it was the weirdest thing. So we got to this point where we were constantly bickering. And I remember he said to me, oh my God, this was mad. He went to me, yeah, I've been thinking, I don't feel like you even love or care about me that much because you don't really make an effort with your appearance. Don't make an effort with my appearance. Bear in mind, yeah, we were in lockdown. There was a global crisis and you want to ask me why I haven't got a Fenty lip gloss on? Am I a dickhead? And I literally was like to him, are you, be for real, be so for real. And I went, are you being serious? And he went, yeah, like, I just feel like you would like make yourself up a bit and like look nice if you really, really cared about me and really loved me. I thought, to go where, bruv? To go where? Everything's shut. Like, what? And I remember it was that time, you know, when all anyone was doing was going for walks. It was that time of life. It was like, you know, when all the weird social distancing shit, it was like the levels to social distancing. Do you remember that? It was so weird. And it was like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, you could maybe play racket sports with a mate. It was bizarre. I can't believe that was even a time of life, by the way. Like, doesn't it feel like that wasn't real? Anyway, Truman Show. It's giving Truman Show. And I remember just thinking, what? And it really upset me. Imagine saying that to like a young girl in their 20s. You don't love me because you don't make an effort with your appearance. AKA, you look shit. Basically, you may as well have said, you look like a poo. So I was like, I don't get it. Like, there is nowhere to go. We're in lockdown. Like, I don't... And also, you're meant to be my fucking boyfriend. You're meant to be the guy that literally loves me in my truest form. And like, you know, like when you look at like gorgeous rom-coms and when it's like the perfect love story and the guy's like, oh my God, my favourite you is you with no makeup on. That is what it's meant to be, right? They are meant to love you in your like truest form, not with a winged eyeliner and lip on, right? I was like, what the hell, I don't get it. And I remember it sat so heavy with me for ages because I was like, is that true? Like, have I pushed him away by not making an effort? Obviously, that's ridiculous. And now I look back and I just think, God, all he was doing was projecting his insecurities onto me. Like, that's exactly what he was doing. He clearly felt that for whatever reason, I didn't love him. That's an insecurity of his. He was like, if I was like better looking or you wanted to impress me more, you would wear the makeup. I'm like, oh, this is a you issue. This actually isn't a me issue. This isn't because I woke up and decided to not wear blusher today. This is because you feel clapped. And then the stars aligned and I realised I am dating a pussy clat. And I was like, I've got to leave this. And it was honestly the best thing I ever did. So all I can say is if you feel like you're stuck in this toxicity, it literally is a drug. Like and being in love is so hard anyway. It's not like a linear thing. It's not tangible, you can't explain it. It's so hard to explain why people stay in these toxic environments. And your self-esteem just breaks down and breaks down and breaks down, eventually to a point where you're like, I can't live without this person. Of course you can. They've just been rubbing away at you for time and now you feel like nothing. But I promise you, you need to just think to yourself, do I come away from spending time with this person feeling better? And if it's a no, blocker. I promise you, it'll be the best thing you ever did. Oh, to whoever that person who's down bad, love you. Okay, next. Oh, I kind of want to tell this story. I'm going to tell this. Okay, someone sent in a long-ass story and wants my advice. God knows why. You came to the wrong place. Okay, but I'm going to help you out, girlie, so let's read it. Hey, Ash, please keep my name private. Cool. Anon. I have a story that I need to double-check I'm not the crazy one. It's a long one, so buckle in. So I was in a long-term relationship from when I was 14 to 25, so a long time. Rascal. We broke up last year. We lived together in a house that was in my family. What? That was in my family that my dad gave us to help because shit's expensive now and it was great to help on the property ladder. Yes, come on. I genuinely thought everything was amazing. Then towards the end of the relationship, I got the feeling something was wrong. I was paranoid thinking that he was with someone else on a random night out in London. He didn't post anything up and he was the type that posted everything. Ooh, okay. Anyway, the usual, when I asked him, did anything happen? No, you're being crazy. Fast forward, shut up, Rev. Fast forward like a month and he broke up with me because in his words, our futures don't look the same. He says he doesn't want kids anymore and doesn't want to settle down. My dream has always been to settle down and have my own family and be a mum since I lost my mum at a young age and he knew this the whole time we were together. Oh, Bob. I never hid this from him as we were together when my mum tragically died after years of suffering from breast cancer. She passed away when I was 16. 3 months later, he has a new girlfriend who I found out he met on that night. I had a feeling about, and she posted that, guess what? She was pregnant! No, this is shit. And he posted how excited he was and how it is a dream come true. I was broken. I blocked them both on everything to keep me sane. They then had their little girl and her name is my name. Taking the piss a bit, no? What? Okay. They had their little girl and her name is my name. Am I crazy or is this like a massive kick in the teeth? It feels like every time I'm getting over something to do with him, another thing comes and hits me again. How do I move on? Because he has a whole new life and a family. That's the rest of the story above, but would love some insight. Oh my God, girl. First of all, I want to give you 10,000 hugs and like a Flake 99 ice cream because you just need love. Secondly, what the fuck? Do you know what? I actually think this is such a lesson in being honest about why you don't want to be with someone. Then again, it's hard because I think people's visions of their future can also change. Like, I know friends that have been hell-bent on saying, I don't want kids. Definitely don't want kids, definitely don't want kids. And then I've asked them 5 years later and they're like, actually, I really want kids. Like, your experiences through life can chop and change the way that you see your future for yourself. That is okay. Like, it's okay to change your mind. But that is mad. As in, 3 months later, to go back on what he said, to have a kid, and then to call it your name, that's a piss take. That is a piss take, and I actually think surely at some point he should have just, when they were going through the book of baby names, he could have been like, oi, now, like, maybe not that one. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's mad. But, it's so hard with something like this because, especially if you're really hung up on this guy, like if you thought that this was going to be the love of your life, your partner forever, it's horrible when you feel like you're getting over someone and then you keep seeing things and you're like, will I ever be well again? It is awful. But I do think it's a lesson in, one, you need to be as honest as you can possibly be with someone about like where you stand with them or when you're breaking up with them. Because do we think he did something with that girl on the night out? Must have. Do you reckon? I don't know. And even that, if he felt like I've met someone on this night out and it's made me question my relationship, say that. Say that when you're breaking up with her. Don't say that I don't think our future's aligned, I don't want to be a dad, and then have a fucking baby 9 months later. Stop it, right? He should have been honest with you and said, do you know what? I met someone on this night out and it made me question my relationship. And I feel like if I feel like my eyes are wandering and I'm not locked into you completely, this isn't right. Do you know what I mean? At least then you've got something to go off of and you're like, okay, that makes sense. But, it's really hard because maybe he just wanted to be out here on these streets and then he met a person that has changed his mind on kids and on family. And do you know what I will say? If a relationship is right for you, you honestly can love things that you never loved. You can. If you really love someone, your whole view on things can completely change. They can do full 360-degree turns, I'm telling you. I remember, I have liked things that I absolutely categorically did not like just because I had love goggles on when I've been in relationships. Like, it's so mad how you're able to do that. I also think if you meet the right person, maybe that is, he didn't want kids with you because it wasn't the right relationship. That's it, end of. And that's such a hard pill to swallow. But what you need to think is you want to be with someone that is all for that, especially given your history and your mum. And there's so much backstory behind that makes you feel like having kids and having a family is part of your destiny. And it should be. So you deserve somebody that's going to be 1,000,000% set on that. Like, no unsure, no, I don't know, not for me, fuck that. If this is what you want, you need to then go and search for that in your partner and you will meet a guy that's like, oh my God, all I want is to have a family with you. Like that, no. And I think that is the only thing, if you keep reminding yourself of that, that will get you through that relationship or that breakup, because you have to just keep saying to yourself, that was not the right person for me. Yes, I loved them. Yes, it feels shit. Yes, I just want to flake 99 and to cry for 10 years in my bed, but that wasn't right for you. You will meet someone that can meet your expectations and wants the same things and wants it with you. That's the point. Love you, girlie. Right, let's go back to question times. I like the little interlude, actually, with a little dilemma. We should do that all the time. Okay. Oh, craziest nights out with friends. Oh, no, there's so many. I can't be asked. Well, we literally went out last night. Amy Spalding, my queen from last week, came out last night to the... Where do you think we went? The box. Oh, Guys, I was not well, really not well last night. I've also realised that I do this thing where I don't like... Does anybody else feel this? I don't like drinking drinks, big drinks on a night out. Like, I don't know how boys just sink pints and pints of beer. That is the maddest thing to me. One, my bladder says no. Like, the minute I break the seal, I'm done for. Every 2 seconds, I'm that annoying mate that's like, can I go for a wee? Come for a wee with me. Like, it's the worst thing. So, I drink nothing but straight tequila on a night out because I'm that bitch. And how does that fare for me? Not well, because I feel like arse today. But, yeah. Craziest nights out. I need to have a think about that. Yeah, oh God, I keep doing this thing as well where I just disappear. If I'm at a certain level of fucked, right, I just disappear by myself and do a full, solid dance break. Nobody else involved. I'm sweating. I'm putting in like a shift. It's as if I'm being paid to be there. It's the weirdest thing. And then... And I'm like, nobody's paying me to do this. Why am I doing this? Last night, we literally had a table. We were with a brand, right? We had a table. It was like lit. All our mates were at the table, blah, blah, blah. I disappear for, apparently I was gone for an hour and a half. I came back to the table and everyone went, Ash, where were you? I went, I was on stage dancing. What? And they were like, you've been on stage dancing by yourself for an hour and a half. And I went, fuck, has it been that long? An hour and a half. Oh, I would give anything to watch that footage back. Oh, God, it actually gives me the ick thinking about it. I can't. Okay, next. How to start creating content and not doubt yourself every second of every day. Please, please, love you. Oh, okay, right. I've been talking about this with mates recently. This is, guys, when I tell you, everything is embarrassing until it starts working. Literally. As in, I've seen loads of TikToks with girlies talking about this. It's basically, everybody thinks that something's a bit of a joke until it starts working. And you need to think that applies to literally everything in life. Like a small business, trying to do content, moving into a new career, and like not really understanding it yet. Nobody is gonna be on your side until it starts working. I remember when I was making little videos in my bedroom like this, I remember there used to be like little comments here and there, people being like, oh, like, why are you making videos? I'm like, what? Look at me now. Do you know what I mean? It's always going to be a joke to someone until it starts working. You have to start somewhere. So I just think the biggest thing is don't have doubt in yourself. Just believe in your source and back yourself fully. Like, you just need to go for it, because there will always be those skeptical people that are like, oh, like, I don't really get it. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? And then the minute it starts working, they are the same people that will come to you and go, wow, you're doing so well, babe. Oh my God, like, would love to get involved in some of your shit. Shut up. You didn't believe in it when it started. Just what I mean? And I really find that to be the case. Whenever I speak to people who are like successful in anything, they're always like, at the beginning it was so hard, didn't know what I was doing. It was trial and error. I was figuring out my stride with it. Like, everything is going to be rocky at the start and people aren't going to support it fully. And then the minute it starts working, everyone is on side. So you just need to go for it, like whatever that is. And I'm actually still learning this. Like, I learned it with the content stuff because I started doing it and I was a bit like, oh, I don't know, like, do I keep doing this? And then it got a bit of traction and I was like, oh, okay, people seem to like it. Maybe I'll keep doing it. And then I kept doing it and I kept doing it. And there were so many times that I thought, what the fuck am I doing? I'm sitting in my bedroom with a ring light in my face, talking rubbish. Nobody's going to want to listen to this. And then, but the point was that I just persevered with it. And I think consistency is key. Everyone says it. Consistency is literally the key to life. If you do something enough, it's gonna work. So you just have to keep doing it. So yeah, believe in your source, man. Okay, next. You always ask your guests about the transition of working 9 to 5 to full-time content creation. Tell yours. Oh, guys, you've been knowing this. I was a dancer for money. No. So, yeah, I was always like in the performing space in some capacity. So I finished school and I went to like a proper girls' grammar school. It was a bit taboo if you didn't go to uni at my school. It was almost like, oh God, like you didn't go to uni, oh God, thicko. It was very much that kind of school. And I remember I just had no desire to go to uni. Even though I had the grades to go if I wanted to, I was like, I don't want to go to uni. I want to perform. This is what I want to do. It doesn't make any sense to me to go to uni and do some random subject and get in like shitloads of debt. I was like, why am I going to do that? I want to be a star. And I just so wholeheartedly knew that that's what I wanted for myself that I remember my teachers were like, okay, like, definitely, you sure? I was like, yeah, 1,000,000%, I'm going to be a star. Like, it's Delulu. It's 1,000,000% Delulu. I actually think everyone needs a bit of Delulu because it's the best thing ever. You need some delusion, especially if you're like one of those people that has big dreams, right? There is a level of delusion to all of it. And I remember being like, do you know what? I'm just going to make it work. I left school and I started dancing. And I remember I really wanted to go to performing school. That was what I wanted to do. But performing school is, like, typically, you have to do musical theatre. I was like, not today, not for me. I'm not sitting there singing Defying Gravity Monday to Friday, I can't do it. So I said, I don't want to do musical theatre, but I want to train. So I ended up going to dance classes and then so I did everything separately, basically. I ended up going to dance classes, then started contacting agents and then sent all my stuff out. And then that's when Club Rat Ash was born because there was, I can't even remember how I got into dancing at clubs. I'm actually just trying to think what a time of life that was. I remember, so Facebook days, lol. I remember somebody messaged me on Facebook and said, it was New Year's Eve. Oh my God, yeah, I remember. It was New Year's Eve and all of my plans had gone to pot. You know, New Year's Eve is one of those overrated fucking days that everyone hypes it up and bigs it up so much and then you end up doing nothing because everything is booked. Like, New Year's Eve is just so hard to actually have a good time at. So I remember all of our plans were trashed for New Year's Eve. Nobody knew what they were doing. The group was splitting up. We had like, some people were going to some house party, some people were doing nothing, some people going to fireworks. And I remember being like, oh my God, not me sitting at home with my cats on New Year's Eve. I'm not doing that. And then I look in my inbox on Facebook and some random man had messaged me and said, hey, I know you're a dancer. Would you like to do a shift at a club? It was like this proper big club in Mayfair. I didn't even go out to clubs like this. So this was like so alien to me. I was like, oh my God, like what, a club in Mayfair? This is major. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. I've got no New Year's Eve plans. May as well bruck off and make some money. Let's do it. So I get to this club. I have no idea what I'm doing, guys. I was like, what do you do? Like, am I meant to dance with the audience? Like, what do you do here? And they literally said, okay, here's your podium, do your thing. Here's your podium, here's your outfit, do your thing. I went, do what? Anyway, I've put this outfit on, I'm looking. I get on the podium and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got no idea what I'm doing here. But obviously I'm a dancer, like I'm trained by this point, but I was like, this is a totally different kettle of fish. There's just Mandem in the club buying tables, popping bottles, and I'm just shaking ass. Okay. And I just went for it. And I remember it was the funniest thing. The guy that called me in to do the job basically was like, I was having such a good time. Also, I've never done this before, and it was New Year's Eve. The vibes were immaculate. I've also had a couple of shots, no doubt, before this shift. One, because I was a bit nervous, like shaky. I'd never done this before. I'm like in this tiny lycra outfit, dancing to Mandem in the club. I needed the tequila, I needed the Dutch courage. So, I'm not gonna lie, I ate. 4 + 4 = 8. I ate that whole dance shift down, right? And then the guy that asked me to do it basically said to me, hey, we think you're amazing. And I was like, T, also me, literally a physical bottle of tequila by this point. He went, yeah, we think you're amazing. We've just fired all the dancers. Can you start and just recruit a load of people that are like you? I went, what? I was literally, guys, when I tell you I was 20 at this point, this big club in Mayfair, I was like, what am I even doing? I went, you fired all the dancers? He went, yep, we just fired them all. I was like, what? And he was like, so you can manage the dancers? I was like, oh my days, what is happening? So basically, I said, what do I need to do? Do I need to audition dancers? I had no clue, but I just took it and ran with it. And I remember all of a sudden, after this one clarted night from dancing on New Year's Eve at some random club, I'm now managing the dancers at this club, and I put on auditions. Oh my God, God. I thought it was the funniest thing. I set up these auditions, right? And it was just me playing like thought girl music, standing behind a desk. The thought of it is actually sending me. I was standing behind the desk. I don't know who I thought I was. I had no idea what I was doing. Definitely had no merit to be judging anyone or to be holding these auditions, right? But I was like, they've given me this job. I have to run with it. Like, this is tea. So I'm sitting there. I had a clipboard. Don't. I can't bear thinking about it. I had a clipboard. If you looked at the clipboard, nothing was written. But best believe, everyone auditioning thought I was writing on that clipboard. And I was like this, as if I'm taking notes on people. And it was the most interesting thing ever. I literally had like 30 girls turn up, all beautiful, all dancers from London, and just one by one, knocking them out the park. I made them all dance to a song by themselves in the middle of a room on a podium for 1 minute. Do you know how awful, I can't believe I made them, like, that is hell. And they did it, and it was so good. So yeah, anyway, that's how I got into clubs. Started dancing, that's when I ended up going to the mothership, the box, and I was performing there for like 4 years. And I remember I just got to a point where I was like, I loved performing and I loved dancing, but I just kind of knew that I didn't want that to be my career. I was like, this feels really great for now, but I feel like this is a season of my life. Like, I don't see myself doing this long term. This is so much fun, and I feel like I'm expressing myself, and also I'd made so many friends in this industry by this point where I was like, I'm getting paid to dance with my mates at cool events, on stages. This is sick. But I knew that it didn't have that much longevity for me anyway. So I remember when I started the TikTok thing, I did not have a single plan, right? I remember I was actually pursuing music at the time. Lol. My 5-minute music career. I was actually trying to pursue music at the time. And I remember my music manager said to me, Ash, there's this new app called TikTok. You have to get on it. It's so you. I went, lol, that app is for kids, bruv. I'm not doing it. And I was so anti-TikTok for months and months and months. And he said, I promise you, I think this would be a really good way to put your music out. I was like, okay, T. So one day I picked up my phone and I said, all right. And it started with me doing the embarrassing dance challenges. You know, all the little, I was doing all of those and nobody gave a shit. I literally had -1 views. And this is also a lesson in persevering. I had nobody cared, right? So I was doing all these little embarrassing TikTok dances. And then one day I just picked up the phone and I started having a bit of a rant. And then people just seemed to like it, it took off. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just do a few more of these. I still had no bigger plan, really, with any of this. And as it took off more and more, I was like, oh my God, wait, this is Boots. And I remember just thinking, okay, I can really do something with this. And I kind of always had in the back of my head that I wanted to be a bit of a Maya Jama. I was like, I love what you've done with the place. I love what she's done with her career. She started in radio. She then obviously met Stormzy. Maya and Stormzy. Oh my God. Okay, let me not run with my ADHD. Let's talk about that in a sec. So, yeah, I remember thinking, I want to be Maya Jama. She started in radio, then she went into presenting, and now she's working with all these amazing brands and this, that, and the other. And that's when I started to see the plan for it. But oh my God, guys, the transition was hard. I remember I was slowly feeling just less and less enthusiastic about dancing. I was really, really outgrowing it by the end. But I quit at the perfect time. But I remember it's so hard when you're trying to segue into something new, but at the end of the day, we've got bills to pay, right? I couldn't just give up everything and be on TikTok because I hadn't got enough traction. I wasn't making money off it. I couldn't do that as a living at that point. So I was brucking off my back every night at the club, doing dance jobs in the day or doing shoots or doing performance based work, going to auditions still, and then running home and being let me film a TikTok. And I think that transition period is actually the hardest thing. And whenever I speak to anyone that's quit a job or started something new or trying to learn something, it is, and you want to do it as a career, the transition bit is just the stickiest, ickiest bit. But honestly, once you get out of that bit, it is so lit and so rewarding. I remember by the end, I was dragging my feet in that club. I was literally, you were getting a very light 2-step at most from me, which is mad because now I go to the club and do a 3-hour dance break. But because I don't have to. Do you know what I mean? When you're doing something as a job and you have to be there, it just gets tedious. Of course it does. So I remember not knowing when I could quit. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't want to take a chance and quit too early, quit the dance game too early, and then this doesn't take off, and then what am I going to do? And then I'm going to have no money, and they're going to be on the street. And I'm like, my brain was just so confused about what the right time was. And I ended up, I think the way that I did it was perfect. I ended up basically dancing for as long as I needed to dance for, and I only quit when it absolutely did not make sense anymore. I remember one of the last dance jobs I did, I went to this event and I was dancing. It was a day event. It was a brunch. And I remember the crowd was hell. The crowd was hell, the music was hell, everything about it was hell. We were in these outfits that kept breaking. They looked so bad. I think like one of my flaps was out at one point while I was dancing, as in like literal fanny flaps. I remember thinking, oh my God, this life is so not for me anymore. I can't do it. I am not enjoying myself. I've got nothing left. And I remember I was still in this transition phase where TikTok had picked up by this point. So I'm at this event and I'm dancing and I don't want to be there anyway. Everything about it was just like a no. I'm in this outfit that keeps breaking. My flap is out and I remember I had these 3 girls at the front going, oh my God, we follow you on TikTok. And I thought, no. And they're looking at me like, what are you doing here? Me, arse out. I don't know, you tell me, babes. And I remember that was the turning point for me. I was just like, there's no shame in it. I literally loved that period of my life. But I was like, this just does not make sense anymore. Like, to have like these people that were recognizing me for doing something else and then seeing me with my fanny flaps out in this day brunch dancing in a gold velour outfit. I said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And that's when I quit. And I remember I actually had like a good old cry when I quit because it felt like an end of an era. I remember sending a message to, we have like a dance mum, basically at the box who oversees all the dancers. And I remember sending this big message to her and I sat on that message for 3 weeks. I just had it, you know, like, you know when people say a girl's notes app is hell, it was just sitting in my notes app and I kept drafting it, redrafting it, undoing bits, chopping and changing it. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm quitting. And I think it just felt to me like, fuck, like if I do this, I am committing to this new path and this new career, and it felt so scary. And I was like, this is all I've known for like 6 years, and am I making the right decision? There was so much going on in my head. And I remember eventually my dad, my king, my dad was like, there is literally no right time. There's never a right time. You know, when people say if you're always waiting for the right time to do something, you will just never do it. And I remember that day brunch was the last blood clot straw. I said, I need to quit. And I sent the message and I said, I have loved every minute of this, but this just isn't for me anymore. And I need to move on and I'm ready to try something new and go on a new journey. And here we are. Antics with Ash, 2 years later. Guys, this has been a whole I expected this to be a 45-minute chat because I was so hungover, but I'm actually very proud of myself for getting through this. I love you all. Please keep sending me suggestions. I love it when you guys tell me what you want to talk about and what you want to discuss. Oh, Maya, Jama and Stormzy. My brain. I'm really sad. I'm really, really sad. I swear, when I saw that statement, they put the statement out as well, and my heart broke. And I literally, that was the love story, I feel, that made the whole nation believe in love. Everyone was rooting for them. You know that Tyra Banks clip where she's like, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. That is Maya and Stormzy. And now they've broken up. Honestly, I was like, do I call Chris and just end it? Because what's the point? Genuinely, I was like, shall I just call my mans and be like, I don't think this is going to work? Because in my head, they were it. It made so much sense. I'm so sad. The nation is crying. But honestly, anyway, I love them both and they're gorgeous and they're obviously going to move on and be happy. But I'm just so sad. I'm so sad. I'm like, it's just made me not believe in love, which is hell. Anyway, love you. Thank you for sitting with me on this very hungover chat. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching, please leave me 5 stars. If you're listening, tell your nan, tell your granddad, tell your dog. Mwah. Goodbye, people.